Welcome back to our channel, where we share updates and untold stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her royal family. Today, we bring you some news: King Charles's insane reaction to Camilla's hatred toward Princess Catherine. A crucial moment arose inside the complex structure of the British monarchy, where every move is imbued with centuries of history, drastically altering the power dynamics within the palace. The declaration was ceremonial and symbolic. King Charles officially appointed his son William as the new Duke of Cornwall. The act, grounded in a long-standing tradition, was more than simple inheritance. It was the intricate conveyance of a cherished legacy that Charles had nurtured for over 50 years. But beneath this illusion of stability, a more intricate and perilous conflict was brewing, one that would determine the crown's fate and the institution's very essence. A title concluded, a new phase initiated. Following the declaration that William would inherit the title of Duke of Cornwall, the nation experienced a wave of pride and expectation. The ritual was flawless and elegant ceremony, characterized by the ringing of ceremonial bells and the murmurs of a captivated audience. Amidst the camera flashes and dignitaries' toasts, a sense of unease permeated the lavish corridors of Buckingham Palace. Veiled under a tranquil exterior, a struggle for dominance was escalating in obscurity, away from public observation. King Charles, the aged monarch, has consistently upheld customs originating from the establishment of the British Empire. Upon seeing his kid assume responsibilities that were formerly his own, he experienced the weight of a shifting paradigm. The Duke's rise to power elicited widespread celebration, but it also heralded imminent change, a tide that would eventually influence every aspect of the royal institution, impacting all individuals involved. The dual facets of royalty, Camilla and Catherine. Within these esteemed chambers, the battle for dominance took place not through physical force, but through carefully crafted smiles and gestures imbued with intricate significance. In one corner stood Queen Camilla, the unwavering consort of Charles, whose extended evolution from public scorn to reluctant acceptance had characterized her identity. On the other hand, many fans have been captivated by the dynamic Princess Catherine, whose ascent from modest origins to the threshold of royal heritage. Notwithstanding their superficial semblance of impeccable poise appearing together in formal photographs and exhibiting cordial smiles at philanthropic gatherings, their private exchanges were significantly dissimilar. To the unacquainted viewer, every greeting and shared laughter seemed to signify unity. Nevertheless, among private circles, insiders spoke of a mounting tension as palpable as the polished floors of Windsor Castle. A senior royal staff member subtly said one evening, between Camilla and Catherine, every word is carefully selected and each glance carries weight. Beneath the facade of public duty is an unspoken competition, a contest for the very spirit of the monarchy. The Queen's extended and arduous journey. Queen Camilla's journey to acceptance has been laden with obstacles. Antagonistic public opinion and fierce opposition from the establishment's inner circle marred her first encounters inside the royal domain. The late Queen Elizabeth, along with Charles's sons William and Harry, expressed considerable apprehension over Camilla's involvement in their distinguished circle. Many saw Camilla as an interloper, a woman whose background did not align with the conventional paradigm of nobility that defined royal life. Notwithstanding rejection and humiliation, Camilla had persevered. King Charles's firm declaration, stating that she deserved the highest regard, propelled her into a path of steadfast determination. Over the years, despite ongoing public scrutiny, she secured a place in the annals of royal history. In her pursuit to maintain her hard-won status, the emergence of a formidable new talent threatened the delicate balance she had achieved. In her alone moments, when the weight of her sacrifices pressed down like the ancient stone of the palace walls, Camilla sometimes allowed her barriers to falter. In these fleeting moments of weakness, she contended with a profound human fear that the legacy for which she had labored may be surrendered to someone younger and far more revered by the public. Presenting Catherine, an emerging talent. Next came Catherine, the embodiment of hope, modern principles, and subtle fortitude. Catherine Elizabeth Middleton was born into an entirely unique environment than Camilla, who was born into aristocratic privilege. Born on January 9, 1982, in Reading, she emerged from a self-made middle-class family, exemplifying dedication, determination, and an honest connection with her audience. Her first encounter with Prince William at the University of St. Andrews was not a preordained occurrence dictated by long-standing royal customs. Instead, it was a simple contact between two people, both unencumbered by aristocratic obligations. The subsequent narrative was a love story that surpassed the conventions of royal romance, a genuine connection that thrived among the commonplace corridors of academia and the picturesque Scottish landscapes. Following their engagement in 2010, Catherine's fame escalated swiftly, startling onlookers. With effortless grace and allure, she enthralled the nation's imagination and redefined the nature of modern monarchy. Catherine's influence swiftly surpassed traditional norms. Her transformative Kate Middleton effect on global fashion sparked widespread admiration and economic rejuvenation. Additionally, her dedicated emphasis on mental health, child welfare, addiction recovery, and the arts positioned her as more than a mere royal figurehead. She emerged as a symbol of advancement. As Queen Elizabeth began conferring patronages in recognition of Catherine's potential, the atmosphere inside Buckingham Palace was more charged with expectancy. A new narrative was emerging, signifying a future where tradition openly fought progress, opposing the previously established boundaries of authority. The genesis of jealousy. Catherine's swift rise, however, did not illuminate the castle without provoking sentiments of envy. For Queen Camilla, every accolade granted to Catherine starkly highlighted the impending erosion of her own power. In muted corridors, and over several cups of tea, palace insiders began to murmur about a growing animosity, a sentiment masked under the veneer of royal decorum. In the early phases of William and Catherine's relationship, Camilla allegedly communicated a warning to the king, indicating that William might be jeopardizing tradition by engaging with a commoner. Although Camilla made these comments in the privacy of confidential discussions, they resonated throughout the palace, foreshadowing an inevitable conflict on the horizon. For Camilla, whose rise to prominence was challenging and often disputed, Catherine's effortless rapport with the people signified both an achievement and a threat. Every grin on a magazine cover and each narrative proclaiming Catherine as the monarchy's future exacerbated Camilla's profound uneasiness. With each passing day, the subtle divide between the two women grew more evident, a rift characterized by unspoken disdain and lingering hatred. A reticent servant then said the silence in the corridors communicated everything. The affection for Catherine was as evident as the chill in Camilla's stare. Camilla's fear of losing a position she had diligently earned was more than just competition. The mysterious essence of King Charles. Amidst this mounting drama, King Charles maneuvered between two realms, the steadfast demands of duty and the inescapable impact of his past. His deep devotion to Camilla had been a crucial element of his reign, a love that had withstood scandals and public scrutiny. Nonetheless, another phantom relentlessly haunted him, the memory of Princess Diana, the people's princess, whose tragic death left indelible wounds. In the serene solitude of his study, away from the onerous responsibilities of official duties, Charles often immersed himself in reflection. The manifestation of Diana, her smile, her grace, the echo of unfulfilled potential, surfaced in his memories, intermingling with his present obligations. In the stillness of the night, his eyes would wander, seemingly in search of something long lost. In a time of deep sorrow and longing, Charles said to a confidant, "Catherine acutely evokes the memory of our loss. Nevertheless, I discern in her a possible avenue, a method to mend the divisions that time has been unable to resolve." This concise recognition encapsulated the complex array of emotions defining his reign, a blend of steadfast loyalty to Camilla and a passionate hope that the future could be salvaged by the potential embodied by Catherine. This internal conflict positioned him on a precarious tightrope, weighing cherished memories of the past against the unavoidable allure of the future. Charles recognized that every decision and little alteration in protocol profoundly impacted the crown's fate, reliant on the delicate equilibrium between private emotion and public expectation. The secret struggles of the palace. People often associate the royal lifestyle with wealth and impeccable manners. Nonetheless, underneath the extravagant exterior of the wedding, a more discreet war was unfolding, a clandestine struggle conducted inside the minutiae of standard protocols. In these hidden locations, every nuanced and carefully orchestrated action transpired as an unspoken contest for authority and dominance. A common narrative among palace staff detailed a seemingly minor but notable incident. During a visit from Catherine's parents, Queen Camilla purportedly required them to use the servants' entrance. An apparently simple demand rather than a benign quirk of protocol was seen by many as a deliberate signal, a reminder that, despite her comportment, Catherine's origins marked her as an outsider inside the royal household's inner circle. At formal meals and private meetings, the tension was palpable, as seating arrangements and subtle courtesies revealed underlying animosity. Upon their formal designation as Prince and Princess of Wales, a title rich in the historical legacy of Diana, the symbolism was unmistakable. A new force, threatening to surpass the current paradigm, was shaping the future irreversibly. Amidst these well-organized public events, whispers escalated. Reliable palace sources said that Camilla, in confidential conversations, counseled King Charles to extend his reign mainly to obstruct the ascendance of the younger generation. For her, sustaining the throne for an extended duration was not only an act of self-preservation, but also a defense against an imminent wave of change that may nullify her sacrifices. A monarch in transition and an heir apparent ready to rule. Despite the royal intrigues and growing jealousy, Princess Catherine continued her ascent with unwavering drive that resonated beyond the palace walls. Her public engagements, marked by compassion and an innate connection with others, gradually positioned her as the emblem of a rejuvenated monarchy. Her every glance meticulously aligned with the ambitions of modern Britain, a nation seeking progress while preserving ties to its distinguished heritage. The Festival of Remembrance served as a notable symbol of Catherine's advancing status. Catherine boldly wore Princess Diana's famous Collingwood pearl earrings, sending an implied message. For many, it was more than simple admiration. It was a complex assertion that her destiny was inextricably linked to the fabric of history, while also signaling a bolder future. These accolades came swiftly and profusely. Catherine's humanitarian initiatives during the COVID-19 pandemic, her unwavering advocacy for children's mental health, and the economic influence of the Kate Middleton effect reinforced her status as an emblem of compassion and modernity, as well as a prospective pillar of the monarchy's future. In the United States and elsewhere, polls routinely ranked William and Catherine at the zenith of public acclaim, surpassing even the considerable contributions of King Charles and Queen Camilla. Catherine's ascent symbolized a wider cultural transformation, a recognition that traditions need to adapt to the evolving needs of a developing community. As she progressively assumed responsibilities formerly designated for Queen Elizabeth, it became evident that the monarchy's framework was being restructured to better conform to contemporary ideals while still honoring a rich legacy. The monarch's dilemma, loyalty, ancestry, and an ambiguous future. King Charles maneuvered through a precarious balance of conflicting loyalties, and personal years of shared adversity and public strife solidified his unwavering dedication to Camilla, tempering it in the crucible of scandal. His recognition of Catherine's pivotal role in the monarchy's future compelled him to engage in actions that promised to effectuate change. An unprecedented decision to grant Catherine the power to issue royal warrants, a privilege previously reserved for the highest echelons of the organization, sparked speculation about a forthcoming strategic initiative. This deed, steeped in tradition and bold invention, signaled the entrustment of the crown's fate to a new generation. For Charles, it was essential to reconcile opposing forces, honoring his unwavering loyalty to Camilla, while still safeguarding the institution under the modern influence of Catherine. During a rare private dining experience inside the palace, where the weight of decisions hung heavily like the ancient stone of the hallways, the king was heard in a moment of genuine reflection. I stand at the crossroads of history. Every decision I make honors the past while reaffirming my dedication to the future. Measuring the crown's value by feelings and ambitions rather than just titles and duties makes it more burdensome. These remarks embodied the essence of a reign marked by nostalgia and renewal. Every complex decision, from the issue of royal warrants to the organized public encounters with Camilla, was imbued with a sense of duty and a palpable desire to progress toward a more inclusive and modern future. The convergence of destiny, a troubled monarchy. The British monarchy now confronts a critical juncture marked by both conflict and opportunity, as it adapts to the evolving dynamics around its long-standing institution. Public sentiment is divided. Some see Queen Camilla as a courageous survivor who has risen beyond disdain to embody steadfast loyalty, while others revere Catherine as an emblem of youthful promise and the essential change needed at a time of rapid transformation. Peace advisors are meticulously developing contingency plans in a confidential manner. They meticulously scrutinize every minute detail, from the wording of upcoming press releases to the sequence of future public engagements. The issue extends beyond mere manipulation of perceptions. It involves a comprehensive redefinition of the fundamental nature of royal leadership for a nation entrenched in tradition, but striving for modernity. As the conversations intensify, one reality is clear: every move made in the following months will leave a lasting mark in history. Will Queen Camilla, burdened by years of unwavering commitment and personal sacrifice, eventually yield to the inevitable tide of change? Will she, with unwavering determination forged through several challenges, maintain her place in a last effort to reclaim prominence? How long can Catherine, whose every action serves as a model for the future, bear the burden of expectation? An insider within the palace, whose views remain confined to the inner circle, articulated succinctly: the fate of the crown is shaped not solely by protocols and lineage, but by the deep emotions and quiet confidences of those who bear its burden daily. The situation represents a contest not only for power, but also for the essential identity of the nation. Epilogue: an unfinished account of the crown. As the day's official ceremonies conclude and the applause fades in opulent rooms, the true saga of the British monarchy continues surreptitiously, a story of affection, aspiration, regret, and hope. King Charles, Queen Camilla, and Princess Catherine are not only notable people, they represent a vibrant institution, harmonizing historical history with prospective possibilities. Well, within the illuminated confines of Buckingham Palace, where every corner holds memories and each corridor echoes unexpressed emotions, the quest for the monarchy's soul continues with quiet resolve and unwavering conviction. In the deep tranquility of daybreak, when the land is still and the weight of the crown is keenly felt, the future remains uncertain, its last chapter yet unwritten. The ongoing battle is both palpable and precarious, complicated interaction of loyalty and treachery, public duty, and individual anguish. The nation witnesses the legacy of King Charles, the unwavering determination of Queen Camilla, and the luminous promise of Princess Catherine unite, forging a future that is both eternal and pertinent. In this changing environment of tradition and modernization, every public smile and well-planned gesture has substantial significance. The crown may be onerous, but its weight signifies a dedication that, despite profound internal strife, the essence of the monarchy will endure in its progression, assimilating historical lessons with prospective possibilities. As the palace lights diminish and darkness envelops a historically significant country, the royal story persists. Every muted conversation in the shadowy recesses of Buckingham Palace and each meticulously orchestrated official action adds another stanza to an epic that is both deeply personal and unmistakably regal. This ongoing conflict demonstrates that the struggle for power goes beyond titles and privilege. It represents the persistent human need for meaning, balance, and hope. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts. And goodbye for now.